Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my Yarnquisitions knitting podcast. It's where I talk about what I finished, what I'm working on, what yarn I recently acquired, and whatever else crafting thing I've been doing. But disclaimer, it's mostly knitting. And it's been a while. It's been like a few months since my last episode. I did film one episode, but I never edited it, so I'm probably never going to edit it. So this is just gonna be a huge, humongous update, and I got COVID since then, in November. And so because I had COVID, I was feeling really bad. So I started a new project, and I'll show you my COVID make, which is the second sweater I made when I got COVID, because I got COVID twice so far. Is that a good track record? I don't know, but it's making me productive, in a sense. So for my finished objects, I don't know where I left off, so I'm just gonna cover my bases. So I finished reknitting the Cutar sweater, but of course it's not on gauge. It's like 25 to 28 stitches per 4 inches or 10 centimeters. So it's like really hugging my body, which the pattern is technically at a 20 stitch gauge, which I should have used like DK weight yarn and like 4mm, because that's my gauge to get 20 stitches, or like around 22, which is way closer than the gauge for this. So kind of regretting it, but I mean, it does look good with like or two of my high-waisted pants that I wear, and I've been wearing this a little bit every now and then. So that's one finished object. And my second finished object, I don't know if I showed you it, so I'm gonna show it again. It's the Kelly Genser by Sandnes Garn. It's in their DIY booklet, 2109. So it came out in 2021, and I bought it last year in 2022. And I haven't really been wearing it, just because it's like a good fall spring piece, but it's not a good winter piece because the slits are so high up. But I mean, technically it is a good layering piece as long as you wear like something underneath, but it does make you feel a little cold in like 50-degree weather, so, or 50-degree Fahrenheit weather. So it's like it's not very that versatile right now, so I'm just not gonna get a lot of use out of it right now, but I will 3 months probably, because hopefully that's when it'll start warming up, and then May for sure will be warm, or warmer than now. And I totally forgot to say what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Billie Pullover by Sari Nordlund, and I lengthened the sleeve a while back, but I didn't lengthen the body because it's like perfect when I'm wearing high-waisted pants or like a skirt. Like right now I'm wearing the Sporty knit Skort. Don't know if you could see that. I'm out of frame probably. Let me see. I'm wearing the Sporty knit Skort by made by Florence. There's a ton of cat hair on it because my cat was sitting in my lap. And then I'm wearing handmade by Florence's the Petal Drop Cami. Yeah, and I made that in like pure silk by Knitting for Olive. Everything's gonna be in the description. If I put the yarn, I'm not sure. I just put the patterns for sure. It will be there because there's like a lot of yarn in this episode, so I don't know if I'll put all the yarn. It's a lot of names and they're all long. So this is my make that I started when I got COVID in November, and I finished this within a month, like shy of like 30 days. Pretty sure it's like 25, 26 days I took to make this, which is like my average. So I'm like, oh, I guess it didn't really take that long to make it, but it really felt like a slog, especially because I like was doubting myself, like because of the gauge. But my gauge is like 22 stitches, I think, and I did everything almost according to pattern. For the neck, I knew that I'm pretty sure I used like 3 millimeters for the collar, and then for here is 3.5 for the color work section, which is like this much. I used 4 millimeter because I always have to go up a size when I do color work, because my knitting is just way too tight. Or no, it goes down to here. That's all the color work right here. And then for the sleeves and the body, I just used 3.5 millimeters because it's mostly stockinette with like every few rows there's like 2 rows of mosaic knitting, which is like not much. So, and I didn't want to like change needles, so I just used 3.5 and it's like fine, whatever. My gauge is still the same. And then yeah, then I had to go back up to 4 millimeter for the sleeves because of the color work there. And then I went down to 3 millimeters for the ribbing. And then I followed the bind off exactly to pattern. It's like really weird and bizarre, but it works. And it looks fine because you don't bind off in 2x2, but in the pattern it says that you could just bind off regularly instead of doing this complicated bind off, but it looks way neater doing the complicated bind off. And then for the corrugated ribbing, I think I used 3 millimeters as well because I didn't want it too tight, and I knew if I went down to 2.75 it would be tight. I'd rather have the corrugated ribbing flaring than too tight, so that's what I did. And to me it's completely flush right now, so didn't want to risk it because it is color work here. It's technically color work because you are using 2 neon colors at the same time, or like because of that I didn't want to go down to 2.75 because I know my knitting is just too tight all the time. As you can see through this whole freaking piece, I did a gradient, so it's like green with yellow, and then yellow, and then the blue, and then a darker blue color, and then it transitions from dark blue, light blue, to green, to yellow, to green again, and then to the blue, or to the light blue again, and then the dark blue. And then for this one I used my heavy lace weight yarn in Atari. It's a cashmere from Color Mart, and then I held that 3-stranded using that chain technique, and then also held this mohair 3-stranded too, and it's the Lavender Fabric Company mohair in Nimbus. For the main color, I used We Are Knitter's finita yarn in gray and 1 strand of JC Rennie super soft in Ugu Pearl. And then for the color changing part, I used We Are Knitter's fuzzy yarn that I had left over. Like, I impulse bought that in the very beginning of my knitting journey, which is in 2021. Damn, that was a long time ago. So yeah, I like kept that yarn because I had no project for it after using it for my cabled vest that I did following Aura Knits on YouTube. Their tutorial. It's like my second garment piece. I think that's it. Oh, and the pattern is Alpenglow I by Rennie Knits, aka Andrea Mowry. She has a YouTube channel here. I watch it all the time. I love it. Love her patterns. And I want to make the tessellated so bad, but the yarn it uses like 3 different colors of yarn. I'm just like, do I need to do that right now? No. And I also, procrastinated on this knit for like a full calendar year since it like came out. And I started this after this year's Rhinebeck, or not this year, it's 2024 now. It's in 2023's Rhinebeck, because this was originally a Rhinebeck sweater for 2022. So yeah, super late, but I got it done, and the fit is kind of weird. It like bunches up here, but I don't know if it's because I haven't washed it yet and need to stretch it out or whatever. But yeah, and the sleeves are very roomy, thankfully, because I was kind of concerned that it would be too tight, because in the pattern it says the ease is like, or the recommended ease is like -2 to 0 or something like that. And I'm like, okay, that's like a little too tight for me. Or 0 to 2 inches. So it's, according to the pattern, it's 2 inches of positive ease, but it feels like a little more for some reason. That's good for me because I don't really like sweaters too tight anyways. Even though I knit the Kuutar way too tight. Well, so that's it for this one. I made this one, which also I procrastinated a full calendar year. This one came out in winter or like December 2022, and I made this in December 2023. And this took me like 10 to 14 days to make. It's on my Instagram. I said like the exact days when I started to when I bound off. Kind of comfy knit, and I did some more color work on the sleeves and the body. And I just took this one combined with this one, and it's a 5-stitch repeat on the bottom. That's what I like to make the the pattern more clear with these colors, because it's kind of like obscured in this area. Like the green shows up fine, but the pink really does not. And I just used leftover yarn for this, and The white or cream I'm using is Knit Picks, Simply Wool Worsted, and Wendy, I think. Yeah, and it's much more like creamier and beigeier, or not beigeier, grayer than I remember it to be. And I bought this yarn for sweater number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, but that project didn't work out, so I just undid everything and then used it for this. And this pattern is, what is it called? Haze Sweater by the Knit Pro Girl. She liked my photo of it on Instagram. I'm pretty sure she likes a lot of photos of her patterns on Instagram, but it feels good when the designer likes to make, you know. Finally made it, and it's done. And maybe I should just put it over here. My last finished object is these socks. I just bound off and washed them yesterday, 2 days ago. Now they're all nice and fluffy and ready to be worn. And this is the stone, and this is Stone Sock by Tatiana Kulikova. If my memory serves me, it's in the 52 Weeks of Sock book by Lane Publishing. And one of them I knit in the beginning of 2023, and one of them I finished like at the end, like December fucking 29 or something, like barely making it in 2023 at the end of the year. And my gauge is like really weirdly off, because my first one is like way longer than my second sock, so hopefully the fit's not too weird. And I had to write all my modifications, and I made a Ravelry. Okay, I made a Ravelry, so all my modifications are there if you want to use a 4-ply. I don't know why, but my gauge, especially my row gauge, is super tiny. It's like double the row gauge of the pattern. So, and she's using a fingering weight or like sport weight yarn, and I'm like, why is mine so different? It's like, is it because I'm using a 4-ply, or is it because my tension is super tight? Like, I don't know which one it is. And yeah, I used Lavender Fabric Company's Dreamy Sock Base in the color Vintage Floral. It's really hard to see the subtle like striations, the subtle color shifts of this colorway. I don't know how else to say it. And I guess I forgot to weave in an end or something. Finally finished this sock after a full year. Okay, that's all my finished objects. And this is my test knit for Sari Nordlund. It's the Anemone Pullover by Sari Nordlund. And I test knitted this a while back, and I finished what she required of me, which is the yoke and the sleeve by the deadline, which was like a month. And I was like, okay, I could do that. And I used the new Titan yarn, and I also used leftover from the Cutar Sweater, which is also another Sari Nordlund sweater. And then also I used leftover of Pro Soho knitting yarn in color Blue Willow, which I used for the Billie Pullover, which is kind of funny that I just used leftover yarns from all the yarn that I used for her patterns, which is so funny. And then New Titan, I bought 300 grams and I held it double, and I didn't know it wasn't enough for a sweater. So now it's like perpetually work in progress. Like, I can't finish this because I don't have any other yarn that is like the same texture, aka unspun. So I'm gonna have to buy some unspun from like Canada, I think, because that's like the closest place that sells unspun. Or I think I know there's like a shop in the US that sells like Briggs and Little's unspun yarn, and I'm probably gonna have to buy that, but I'm probably gonna have to buy like 2 colors to mix to get this color because it's like too dark. Like in the photos, I know it could be deceiving. Sometimes it looks lighter in the photo or on your computer. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. Kind of expensive, but like I need to finish this. At least to like the body. Like I'm almost done with the body. I just need like this much more. I don't know how much that is, like 5-6 inches more. I'm like, shit. Do I have enough? Oh yeah, I have leftover. Okay, for like the ribbing at the end. And my modification for this is also on Ravelry. I haven't posted any pictures on Ravelry because I have to use my computer and I don't want to use my phone on Ravelry for some reason. Okay, don't ask me. Okay, and I just fold it over, just like for the neck band, because the sleeve is kind of wide, so I wanted to like cinch it in a little bit by filling that void with more like fabric or something. So that's what I did. And I still have, why do I still have this? Like I still have all the stitch markers, but I like completed the other sleeve, so I'm like, maybe I should take it off now. I'll probably do this after filming. And I'm trying to rush so it's not like too long. This is like leftover from my sweater number 9 attempt. So, and because this is a lace weight yarn called Alpaca Cloud by Knitpicks, I'm using it to like test the Queen Susan shawl. It's a free pattern it's on Ravelry. That's where I got it from. It's a free pattern. It was like a huge undertaking in like 2008, 2009 by like a group of knitters to recreate a antique shawl, basically. And it's one of those Shetland shawls, so it's like fucking massive, first of all. And yeah, I'm never gonna make a lace shawl that massive because I have no way to like block it, if you know what I mean. Like you would have to make a frame as big as your bed to block it, and that's no way, Jose. I'm not doing that. So I'm just making a swatch, and I messed up once in the beginning and I restarted because it's just so difficult. The chart is like really confusing because the legend for the symbols, but it's only for the right side, so I don't know what the stitch is on the wrong side. So if it's a knit 2 together on the right side, it's a P2 together on the wrong side, right? But then there's like slip 1, knit 1, and then pass over. But I don't know how to do that one on the wrong side. So I like had to search it up, and it's still confusing because it doesn't look the same on the right side. So if anybody knows anything about translating that shit, hit me up on Instagram because this shit is crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's a free pattern. Like, what do I expect? Like, it's free. I'll deal with it, whatever. So it's looking like I probably won't end up knitting this shawl, or if I can't overcome the complicatedness of their charts, which doesn't have wrong side instructions. And then I started this knit, which is the Sari Nordlund's Levi Pullover, which I bought a long time ago, around the time that it came out, I think. And like, I love this pattern, but I'm questioning my color choices right now. Even though I'm like mostly done with the yoke, I still have like 5 or 6 more rows, I think, on the yoke. So, and I used all leftover yarn from like past projects. I think you'll recognize some of them if you've been watching me for a long ass time. If I have the courage, I'll put the yarns in the description. I'm just using a ton of scrap yarn because I have a lot of scrap yarn, and this is like the perfect project. And I'm using like Drops Flora for like the white, because the pattern calls for a worsted weight, but I'm using like all DK minus the blue, which is an Aran weight. So I'm like mixing it up, you know. And yeah, this shit's huge now. I always found the yoke huge, but then like when you knit the body, it's like not huge. You know what I mean? Because for this circumference has to be 40 to 50 inches, depending on the ease that you want, or the yoke. At the largest part has to be at least 45, I think, for my size, and it's way bigger for like other people's sizes, I think. So that's a lot of knitting. I don't have a larger circumference than the 40-inch cable, so it's bunching up a lot. That's all I gotta say. And I keep it in this one. Oh, and I keep the Anemone Pullover test knit in this thing because it's like, or maybe I should put it in something else because I know I'm not gonna work on it for a long time, and then it would free up this bag so I can use it for something else. That's probably a good idea. Okay, and I'm working on a test knit right now, but it's a secret test knit, so technically I can't show it to you, but I can show you the yarn that I am using. So I'm using Patan's Koi Socks. It's my first time working with it, and it works very similarly to Lavender Fabric Company's Dreamy Sock. It's just like 1 stitch difference. No, it's 2 stitch difference in gauge, so it's close enough where I can use it in the same pattern. And I'm using leftovers from Nudie, Lavender Fabric Company's Dreamy Sock base in the color Nudie. This is a Kaisa sock. It's leftover from that. And then when I ran out of this, I used this, which is the Vintage Florals. They don't look too different on the sock. For my second sock, I had to use this color, like halfway through the leg portion, because it's a top-down construction. Yeah, I had to use it for like the toe of the second sock, and then for both of the socks, because it uses afterthought heel, both of the socks are gonna have this colorway, Vintage Floral, for the heel. So, and I feel like kind of better about the way I speak in like circles, because recently I was like watching Stephen West talk about just like seeing his videos talking about like what's to come in 2024 and introducing his new patterns, or like a recap of what happened in 2023, and makes me feel less insecure about the way I talk. And he's also American. I think he grew up in like Midwest though, so I guess it's just an American thing when you're like kind of nervous or something, I don't know. Or when you're presenting something, I feel like it's like a common thing. But yeah, more about the secret test knit. Yeah, I bought this. I bought 2 balls of this, but I didn't even finish the first one. So this comes in 152 meters. So if you have at least that for the main color, then that should be fine. But I'm working size 6. In the pattern, it says it's for a foot circumference of 8, but that's my average foot circumference. But the largest circumference I can measure on my foot is 9 inches. So technically, I'm making a sock that's like a size down. I did hit gauge pretty close, because sometimes my gauge varies from 32 to 36, but the gauge in the pattern is 33. So I'm like, I don't know. But the stitch count is like around the ballpark of like these socks, which I knit size 1 of. So yeah, I'm confident it'll fit me. And I put my foot in the first one, so it will fit me. I just haven't I'm putting in the heel right now for the afterthought heel. And it's pretty interesting. I've never done an afterthought heel. Low-key looks kind of weird. So in terms of like aesthetic, it's not my favorite heel, but then the pro of having an afterthought heel is just if it gets worn down first, then you can just undo all of the heel stitches and then replace it with a completely new yarn. But I'm pretty sure the toes of my socks will go first, because in my non-knitted socks, my toes are the ones that rip first. And I also bought, so acquisition part, bought this, bought croy socks in, I think this is called Gentry Gray with an E. And this was like sold out on Joann's. So I got it at my local Michael's in store. I just saw it randomly. So I was like, okay, I gotta get this color or I won't get it ever again. Because usually when I wait too long, the color will be like unavailable. Like there will be no stock of that color. And that already happened for Patan's classic wool worsted in like the sunshine color. Not soft sunshine. There's a yellow that's called sunshine. And it's not there anymore. So kind of bitter about it. Whatever. And then also I bought the white to pair with the brown rose marl. I don't know if I said that earlier. And the white is called muslin, but it's like a really off-white color. It's not a white. It's not a bright white. Sorry about the lighting. I'm like in shadow now. By the way, the brown rose marl is like a color block with like thin stripes in between each color block. So if you don't like that, then I suggest you not to get these. Like Patan's croy socks has other like striping colorways, and they also have like a gray marl, so I'm probably gonna get that eventually. So yeah, I bought this to pair with this for the secret test knit. I just got my yarn for the other secret test knit. So it's the same chart pattern for both secret test knit. So I guess I'll be an expert by the time I finish the sweater. So on the cuff of the sock will be on the yoke of the sweater, so you can have matching socks with your sweater. But yeah, I really just didn't think I'd get it for some reason, because I clicked no for I won't be able to finish it on time, but I guess I will finish the socks on time because the due date is January 6th. And at this rate, I'll be done by like tomorrow? Question mark. So yeah. And I just got the yarn for the other secret test knit. But like not the sock, it's the pullover / jumper / sweater. And I applied for both of the secret test knits because I thought if I get chosen, I'll only do one. But then the designer is like, nah, you can do both. And I'm like, oh. So for like a week or two, I just like, I think for a full week, I just didn't buy the yarn yet. Low key on a time crunch, but that's my fault. So I'll show you what I got. So I ordered this from Joann's because they got a yarn bundle and it was like much cheaper than getting it individually. So if you can get a yarn bundle, get it. So yeah, I got Fisherman's Wool in their white natural or ecru. Fisherman's Wool is by Lion Brand. I don't suggest buying from their website because the shipping's crazy. I have bought from their website before, but that's because at that time I lived in a place where yarn was like not that available. And in person or online, it looks way whiter, but this is like low-key yellow. Like, look. This is already like a very, like a cream color, like a creamy white, but it's so much more yellow and slightly darker than this one. And oh, I forgot to mention that this is also a superwash yarn with 25% nylon. So nylon is stretchy, polyamide is not. As far as I know, and that's what people tell me. So I don't know for sure. So yeah, there's like four in each of the skeins. There's 425 meters. It's like a slightly over 200 grams. So it's like a good deal. And it's super cheap compared to anything else in the US. And this color is oatmeal, so this is going to be the main color, and then this is going to be the contrast color. MC, CC. The sweater requires 1.5 skeins of each of these colors, so I'll have 1.5 for like another sweater. But it would have to be a colorwork sweater as far as I know, because it's not enough yardage for a cardigan or sweater. Because 2 skeins is like 850 meters, so that would be enough for like a tight fitting sweater for me. Oh yeah, and I was thinking of making some pillows with these, or 1.5 years. I've been thinking about making a tweed pattern pillow or double. I'll put it on screen what it's called because it's on my computer, but my computer's in the other room. This is the bedroom. And I forgot to mention that this color is true to how it looks online. It's like a light gray brown, more on the gray side than brown. So it's a very like good neutral taupe color, but and hopefully this is, I'm just like crossing my fingers that this is yellow because of the lanolin in it, so maybe when I wash it some of the yellow will come out, but it's fine if it's still yellow. I'll just know for like future reference how yellow it can get. But let me compare it too, because I have like all different types of white for some reason. Okay, so this is knitting yarn by Prosoho, and it's in their heirloom white color, and I thought this was yellow. It's not that yellow compared to all the other ones. Okay, it's not that yellow. It really reads as white for sure. And then Wendy compared with winter white, compared with muslin, and compared with this. So these are definitely closer in color, but this is way more gray because it it's like a grayish white, or leaning on the gray side. And this is Knit Picks Simply Wool Worsted in Wendy. So now that I have all these different types of white, I know like kind of what to buy, but this is like significantly more money than the other yarns here, because this I bought this on sale, but when it was on sale it was still like $11 per skein, and each skein is 100 grams. So probably gonna buy Drops Daisy because this is a merino wool. Drops Daisy is a merino wool, and they're both like really soft. So yeah, Drops Daisy is such a good one. Oh, and I made 2 hats and a headband. Both hats is made after the Oslo hat by PetiteKnit. So I made a hat with the head circumference for like 22-inch, which is my head, and then one for 25-inch head, which is like my boyfriend's head, which is like perfect for the couple who I gave it to. It was like their wedding gift, but I shipped it in December because I'm lazy, okay? And I didn't finish in time for the wedding in October, so that's why. Because I bought the yarn super late. I bought it like September, which is the month right before October. I should have bought it earlier, but that's when Drops Daisy dropped. So yeah, and I used Drops Daisy in their color light nougat. I should have bought marzipan because that's more beige and not as dark as light nougat. I'll pop a photo up here because I think I took like 2 photos of the beanies, but I'm not sure if I took a photo of the headband, and that headband is modeled or using the videos on PetiteKnit's website for the weekend headband. I think that was called. It's like a 1x1 rib headband. What's it called? It uses double knitting on the edges, and then you like, I cannot exactly remember how I did it, but I think I used the instructions, the video instructions on PetiteKnit's website. So whatever's there, I guess. Yeah, and on my Ravelry I only have 2 projects. So, and I'm gonna put the secret test knits on there when the designer says it's okay. So, and I did take a couple of progress photos, but I can't share that until January 6th because that's when the test knit's over. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I don't know what the time line is gonna be, I thought my part-time job would like slow down my knitting, but it stayed the same. So I guess look forward to future episodes. Yeah, I just like a knitting machine, I guess, somehow. And hopefully in 2024, cross my fingers, I'm gonna make my own pattern. Yeah, hope you guys have a good time knitting, working on your projects, and drinking some tea, some hot ass tea, because it's still cold, or coffee. I already drank my coffee. If you haven't noticed, I haven't taken a sip. So I'm gonna make some more tea and finish my secret test knit sock. Bye!